What's up, citizens of YouTube? This is Terry, and this is the Black Jurist. I want you to see how tall this grass is. For context, this grass is coming up to my waist, my waistline. The city has continued to neglect this area. The building is dilapidated, falling apart. Crime, trash, as you can see back there, all throughout the grass. This is a pathway that I cut about 2 weeks ago. No, not 2 weeks ago, last week, to cut that area that's further down. This is a tree that is dead. The branches have fallen over, and you can see that they're way overgrown. I mean, completely overgrown. It's completely a travesty. And the Baltimore City Government has completely allowed this area to just been, just go to waste. They've been derelict in their duty of what they owe to the citizens of Northwest Baltimore. Completely derelict. I mean, and it is very upsetting. This is the former Grove Park Elementary. If you can see it over there. Grove Park Elementary School. It's now called vacant school number 1, in my opinion. Because around it, you have homeowners over there. You have homeowners over here. People who really care about their homes, care about their community. But guess what? We can't fight the entire Baltimore City Government. We've reached out. You look at this broken glass. Children actually come to this playground over here, and they play on this playground, and glass and broken bottles are over there. Gates are falling apart, if you can see over there. Now, me and my crew, we've gotten out here. We tried cutting the grass before. But guess what? It costs money to run our machines. And the Baltimore City Government doesn't pay black contractors nor contractors from Baltimore City. Instead, they award the contracts to out-of-city, out-of-town companies, particularly sometimes those from Baltimore County, and those that are not black-owned or owned by a person in Baltimore City, whether that person be black or not. As long as they're from Baltimore City, that's my criteria. Look at it all over here. You go way back, and actually if you go to the back of the building, you can see that there are 3 or 4 windows open, broken into. Trash all over the dang on place. Baltimore City has just completely allowed this area to go to waste like this. So you want to talk about some systemic racism? This is what systemic racism looks like, guys. It looks like a school being shut down in a black neighborhood, and when property appraisers, I'm a property appraiser as well, when property appraisers come by, they're looking at the comparables in the area. But guess what? One of those unspoken facts is, yes, they are looking at the government resources that are being put into the area, the systemic equity that might be given back to the area, the reinvestment of the area. And guess what? They're saying, you know what? This area might be worth less. And I wonder why that is. When you have Baltimore City, which once had a population way over 1 million people and has since declined, you think that people are going to stay here? You think that people are going to continue to want their children to see this crap, this abject failure? Now, I wonder if this was in some other neighborhood, if this was in any other neighborhood, maybe a neighborhood that had different racial demographics, different income demographics, different economic demographics. would it get the same type of treatment from the Baltimore City government? I don't know. I don't want to draw conclusions, but what I will say is that based on the zip code of 21215, and this being Grove Park and not Roland Park, for example, that this area has been allowed to go to waste. And the neighbors are out here and we fight like hell. We make sure that this area has a fighting chance. But guess what? This land from that gate and all the way over to the other side of the building, not this little makeshift module structure that they built in 2007. Mind you, the school was built in 1955, I think. They built this makeshift structure in 2007 because they said the schools were overcrowded. Soon after saying that the schools were overcrowded, they said, oh, well, actually, we have low attendance. So because we have low attendance, we have to shut the schools down. We got to shut the school down. So then they moved all the children from Calvin Rodwell Elementary over in Hillsdale. They moved them all the way over here. They stuffed all those children into singular classrooms, into these modular classes as well. This was in the end of 2019. And then in 2020, they shut down the school building for good. They shut down the school building for good and moved all those kids back over to Calvin Rodwell, which, oh, by the way, is around a shooting gallery. And by shooting gallery, I mean a grocery store where people shoot at the liquor store. Mind you, you can see the trash. You can see the trash. Okay? They shoot over at the liquor store that's right across next to the grocery store. I wonder why this is. And I wonder, had this been a different area, had this been a different neighborhood, what would it be allowed to stay like this? Would this even happen? And this is not for lack of individuals, Americans, black folk, white folk, for which are in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is 96% black. The other percentages are Latino and white European Americans who came here, right? Whether they're their ethnic group, whether they be Irish or whatever else, they come here and they fought alongside the black folk to keep this neighborhood up and running. And I can show you some homes, some beautiful homes owned by black, Latino, and white folk, and just neighbors, because I know there are going to be people in the comments and people who got something to say about the racial demographics. No, it's just people. It's just Americans. And we've all been putting in the work to keep this neighborhood good and up and running. But guess what? Baltimore City Government has not been doing its part. Yet guess what? The school CEO, Sonia Santelices, she makes $358,000 for a failing school system. You ain't even got to pay my company that much to come over here and cut this grass. You can pay me $1,000 and I get out here with just a single lawnmower and cut this grass. I'm sick and tired of this. And you wonder why people are giving up on the system, giving up on government, giving up on everything else. They're giving up because they're tired of seeing this failure. They walk out that door and they see this shit every single goddamn day. Baltimore City Government, Democrats, whoever the fuck else, you need to get out here and do your job. Guys, this has been the Black Republican Theory. If you like the content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.